Put this donation towards preventing cancer. Shout out to Ishiba-san, my friend and second mom who is currently battling cancer. Thank you so much for your donation, Linkums. And with that, I have heard that we are all ready for Epic Dumpster Bear 2, He Who Bears Wins, any percent race between Linkums and KowalLazy. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to them.
Oh, hello GDQ 2021 AD CE, whatever we use now. Yeah, my name is Trysdyn, and I'm here with the Epic Dumpster Bear 2 community, all 2.5 of us. I'm only half because I don't actually run the game. I just know too much about it. So, you know, Epic Dumpster Bear, it's here in the awful block, but I actually think it's a good game. It's jank. It's mostly like 90% Unity assets by volume, but it's a good game and I will fight for it. And these two people will fight for it too. Let me just introduce to you both. First of all, on the left on your screen, we've got the runner of a ton of Bible games and quite a few Kosoge FPSs. That's a wonderful combination. Mainstay in our little bad video game lover community. All around decent guy with a PB of, at the moment, 1904, Linkums.
Hi.
Hello. And then on the right, we have an unabashed fan of Bubsy and Bartman for some reason, runner of Baldur's Gate and the Demon Rush, and may actually be the reincarnation of Brooks Crack Tackle with an 1859 Kowal.
1857 now, but I didn't record that one because I'm a dummy.
It doesn't count.
Thanks.
All right, so Epic Dumpster Bear, just before we get started here, they're gonna move to file select, clear a file so that we can get started. You know, it's a very high action, high pace platformer, run to the right, double jump, dash, air dash, wall jump, do whatever you gotta do to get to the end. We're gonna go straight through any percent style. We're gonna skip a lot of the extra levels, 5 worlds, 5 bosses, and then you're done. It's an awesome game developed by pretty much a one-man development team. It's on Steam. Go check it out. Developers awesome, deserves all the love, and may have a 3rd game coming out in a couple of weeks. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. With the plugs out of the way, you know, we're gonna start this grudge match, this repeat run back of Big Bad Game-a-thon, where Linkums took the victory. Kowal's got something to prove, and we're gonna see how it goes. Can Kowal retain his Dumpster Bear epicness, his title as King Dumpster? Let's see how it unfolds.
I need to add one more thing before we actually get started here. We have a lot of questions about the Epic Dumpster Bear lore, so if you haven't played Epic Dumpster Bear 1 and you want to know what's happening, we are showing off cutscenes today, so you'll get to see all the lore as we open up our new file.
That's right, we did make that incentive. I did ask in chat earlier, please make the incentive because that's the only chance as commentator I'll get to breathe. Thank you.
Well, may he who bears win.
He who bears wins.
Eh?
I'm so hungry I could eat an Octorok.
Wrong game. All right, let's get this started in 4, 3, 2, 1, Bears.
Bears, 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 bears.
I skipped the cutscene.
Excellent.
Oh, I did too. Let's restart it.
Okay, we're gonna restart because both of our runners are numpties and skip the cutscene.
Oh, okay. Are we actually restarting?
Yeah, let's get there. Yeah.
All right. Back to the.
Give the people what they pay for. Here we go. All right,
Yes.
Trysdyn, sorry, count it again.
3, 2, 1. Don't skip the cutscene. Excellent. Good. The first major hurdle has been passed.
Honestly, it's going to be the hardest part of the run for both of us.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. See you next cutscene.
Yeah.
I mean, in Dumpster Bear 1, the Dumpster Bear blew up a space station. What more do you need to know?
Yeah, I mean, truly, honestly.
I actually don't know a lot about these cutscenes, so it's like the first time experience for me too. I skip them in my casual playthrough because that's how I roll.
Then you wouldn't understand why we have the dash boost in Dumpster Bear 2, but not in Dumpster Bear 1.
That's right. There's toxic waste seeping into him. That was a bonus cutscene for getting 100% in the first game.
Excellent. So, yes, Dumpster Bear does have the ability to dash. You can tell he's dashing because he has this blue aura around him. And the blue aura not only helps him move faster, but it makes him invincible for a moment and lets him dash through certain enemies and blocks. You would think, hey, we want to mash this button as fast as we can, but you actually gain more benefit from a rhythmic tapping of the dash button. Dumpster Bear's kit also includes double jump and, in combination with an air dash, what is effectively a triple jump, wall jumps, and some cute little power-ups that we'll get into a little bit later. Something to keep in mind as we go through here is the game looks just a little jank. It's 90% Unity assets, which is perfectly fine in my opinion. Here we have Kowal going up to the top of the SMB1 staircase, Linkums as well, and they drop down and you both missed the target. They both missed the target. The game boos them. Man, boo these runners. They can't even hit the target. What's up with that? Oh, man. So, yes, every time they miss the target, the game will boo them. Chat, feel free to join in. It's faster to miss the target, though, but that won't stop me from wanting to boo them. They just give them heck. It's all good. Yeah, if you land on the target, you get a bonus. It takes time. 1, 2. You know, this is just kind of a repeat of what we learned from the tutorial. You got SMB3 style moving platforms. If you all like 7-1 from Super Mario Bros. 3 and you kind of wish it didn't get skipped all the time, you get to see the platforms at least here. There's some, you know, tricky jumps here moving up. The developer seems to have gotten a really good handle on rewarding very skillful and quick movement through here. You'll see a lot of momentum conservation. You can actually overcap your speed, going faster than the maximum speed. I used to call it P speed. Linkums insists on calling it B speed for bear speed. But if you have B speed, you can pretty much retain it by staying in midair at all times. You only lose speed while touching the ground. Here in 1-3, we pick up this dapper little hat, which gives us the ability to throw curling stones. The curling stones attract energy from the chat, and when it maxes out, they explode and blow up the blocks. So when you see curling stones, feel free to give your energy to the curling stones. You can have 5 of them on the screen at once. They bounce on springs and are pivotal for getting through several of these blocks. We also are coming up on a long fall here. There are several long falls in the game, and we will want to avoid hitting bumpers on the way down. Every bumper we hit will bounce us back up and cost about a second. So definitely avoid hitting the bumpers where possible. We'll also want to avoid picking up coins, because every coin will cost, you know, a fraction of a second on the post-stage count-up. So Dumpster Bear face plants into the ground, still throwing curling stones, moves on up the staircase, and boo. As we move into 1-4, iframe dashing becomes really important. When you dash, you gain iframes. You can move through the flamethrowers that we see here. So you're going to see a lot of greedy iframe abuse dashes through flamethrowers, which means our racers could take a hit. You can only take 2 hits. You can see the hearts in the top left. So these risky strats can very quickly add up to a death. We also
it's quite likely we'll see deaths on both sides in this run. It's not going to be deathless for either one of us.
There will be death, yes.
Unless there's not, but there probably will be.
There probably will be.
There probably will be death, yes. There's an entire segment here that we can effectively skip by getting a lot of speed and then just yeeting ourselves off of a rail. We're about to see it here. So we see nothing but background for a little bit and then land right near the end. It is the epic Dumpster Bear yeet, as it were. And then that leads us into our first boss, which we're going to see here shortly. The main trick of this boss is you can get a quick kill by baiting out its Super Saiyan Kamehameha attack, and then while it's in cooldown from that, just spamming attacks on its head. Oh, and by the way, the boss is a cow. Kowal goes in, bounces on his head, bounces against its back, and we've got beef. Well,
I successfully executed the butt dash strategy.
Don't skip the cutscene.
I skipped the cutscene. I got to kill the cow again.
That's okay. We get to see the cow go down. That means Linkums takes the lead, because Linkums managed to not skip the cutscene. As you can see, we have, as I said, beef. I would say the cow has beef because he's defeated, so, you know.
It's what's for dinner.
It is what's for dinner. We have the makings of Berg. World 2, as we head into 2-1, this is a very cycle-based level introducing these walls. Now, Epic Dumpster Bear, being a largely 2D creature, is allergic to clipping planes. So if one of these walls hits him, he gets yeeted into the foreground of the screen, hits the foreground clipping plane, and dies. We don't want to see that. So don't get hit by a moving wall. Very recommended to avoid them. So because this is so cycle-based, we have a par time for this one. We want to aim for around a 39-second time, but we can get a 37. The cycles are being a little rude to Linkums here. That's a little expected. We'll see what time he gets at the end here as he comes down, misses the target, and gets booed again. Oh, no. That is a 39. That's pretty par. 2-2. We have a split path here. There's really no... They both go to the same place. Both racers will go left. There's really not much more to it here. We got a moment for, I think, about 2 donations.
All right, I have a $15 donation from Palm that says, you could say this race might end up being very close. May the grisliest bear win. And I have a $50 donation from Daniel DK that says, it's my birthday today, so what better way to spend it than to donate during my favorite block. Happy birthday, and thank you so much for the donation.
Ah, yes, thank you so much for all the donations that are coming in. Linkums has finished 2-2 and is going to be moving on to 2-3. 2-3 introduces a new, really dapper headpiece. It is the... Oh no, Linkums
I skipped the cutscene. I'm just going to wait here for, I don't know, 15-second penalty or something.
All right, we'll get it on Kowal's side. Kowal's finishing up.
Don't skip on there.
Nope, I am not even touching with the left hand on the controller because I know I'll do it otherwise.
So the Linkums has the bomb hat, which is just like the curling stones with 90% less curling. It's a little bit less Canadian, I guess. They just, bombs arc out, and when they hit something, they explode. That's all there is to it. We've got a difficult series of jumps coming up that used to involve a single wall jump, but now just requires a really clean execution of jumping off both walls up this corridor here and throwing bombs at the bomb wall as you're coming up to save an extra jump. When executed really cleanly, you just do that entire section without having to stop. Linkums did it really well and then face planted into a wall immediately after to give back the time he saved. That's fine. But hey, the strat was done quite well. Face plant to the ground. Let's see how Kowal handles the ascent of 2-3 here. Meanwhile, Linkums is moving into 2-4, which introduces boost bubbles. Boost bubbles are these giant red glowing orbs. Oh no, I said it. When you make contact with them, if you dash, you immediately get thrown the direction of the arrow. It's a huge momentum gainer, but it's not as good as rail grinding. You can get a ton of speed rail grinding. So in the final horizontal run of the level, our runners are going to prefer the rail over the boost bubbles because it's faster, and that's what we're trying to do here. Also, this introduces a whole lot of saw blades, and saw blades are instant death. Don't touch them. It's not a fun time. Yes, grind rails faster than bubbles, and Linkums will just tear through here. Kowal is right behind, not very far back. Probably about a 5-second split at this point. And if we don't have any more like cutscene shenanigans, it'll come down to execution over the next couple of sections. Both racers are now moving into the boss of World 2, which involves a quick kill where you need to hug the left wall but not touch it. And if you manage to land between the boss, which is a pig, and the wall, you can just dash into its rear and destroy it before it even attacks. Now you have bacon for your beef burger. Don't skip the cutscene. Excellent. So we got beef and we got bacon. It's all good. And apparently now we're heading to a data center, which is my personal like stomping grounds, my haunt as a sort of a sysadmin. Never seen a bear tear through one before though.
And you hope to never see it.
I hope to never see it. The sweet aroma of bacon. World 3 introduces fans, which are the distant cousin of saw blades and do the exact same thing, instant death. There was a very tight jump here where both racers will tuck themselves between a fan and a moving platform, just like you saw on Linkums' screen. Perfectly done. I do still love these platforms though, very Super Mario Bros. 3 World 7 aesthetic to them. And then when we approach the long fall here, we don't want to hug the right side of the screen like we did in World 1. We want to leave a gap so we have time to acquire B speed instead of P speed and ascend the Super Mario Bros. 1 pyramid to the end much more quickly, because you can retain that momentum as long as you keep jumping. So that looks pretty good. Linkum should just be able to tear right up the pyramid here and faceplant right into the ground in 3-1. Kowal is right behind, about to reach the long fall. 3-2 is a very intense level. This introduces teleporter bubbles. When you make contact with them, you get teleported to their counterpart, just like you're in Portal, but there's no evil AI here. Well, maybe there is, it's a data center. These don't reset your multi-jump, so you gotta kind of keep that in mind. Very tight triple jump there to get on top of that platform. You basically clip on top of it with half of your model. And then coming up here, we have an orbiting teleporter, which our racers are going to skip by going under. Oh no, we're going to go through it. You can go under it. It saves maybe half of a second. And you lose like 15 if you miss it. It used to be called the silly thing or some word like that. And then just today, Kowal discovered it does actually save time. We didn't think it did.
I'm not going to be going for it, I can tell you that.
Where is your sense of adventure?
You got another cutscene after this level. Don't forget it.
Yes. So as we engage in this cutscene, 3-3 is a super fast and slick level with a really amazing horizontal segment at the end, but there's no really new mechanics. So I'm gonna leave it to the host for 3 donations, let's say.
Oh, awesome. I have a $10 donation from Pixel Griffin that says, this race went into maximum bear drive.
Oh no.
Sorry for the pun, I couldn't help myself, they said. Thank you so much for your donation. I have a $25 donation from Pancake Bear Trap that says, I'm so excited to see Linkums playing this game for GDQ. I always love watching his streams and made sure to stay up to watch him. I can't believe this game is in the awful block because it's so epic. And it's a good thing this game is so good, because otherwise I'd have to throw it in the dumpster.
Thanks.
Thank you for your donation.
Thank you.
I have a $500 donation from Clades that says, I don't understand what I'm watching, so it must be time to donate. Donation goes to Winner's Choice. Shout out to anyone watching from Catgirl Bargains, which I swear is a real thing and not just me trying to get the announcer to say something funny. Thank you so much for your donation.
Excellent. So we're neck deep in 3-4 now, which introduces buttons, which you hit the button, things move, and you navigate the new level state. These buttons are a little janky. You can sometimes dash into them and they just don't do anything and you bounce off. So, you know, you gotta have a little jank. Here, Linkums is gonna skip an entire, button puzzle by jumping under the level geometry and coming back up. There's no floor there. If you fall off the bottom of the screen, if you even touch the bottom of the screen, you're dead. So that's a little risky, but it saves so much time because you don't have to do this back and forth with the button mechanics. I think that's what they call the under thing skip, because we have really descriptive strat names for everything. You know, it's amazing. We're coming up on the third boss, which is, well, you'll see in a moment, but what we're going to see from both racers is they're going to slam to the left as hard as they can and then try to hit the buttons to attack the boss. It looks random, but you can kind of manipulate the boss's patterns, but not entirely. Oh, and by the way, it's a fish head. Unfortunately, the fish head ran away from Linkums right away, so now he's playing chase, trying to get it. The only way you can damage it is to hit the buttons and try to make, you know, try to skewer the fish. Fortunately, Linkums was able to get it in 15, which is a little above par. It's all right, it's good. And there we have the giant fish head. Oh, that's creepy. Let's see how Kowal does with that. Okay, so Kowal got the decent pattern where it goes back to the left. I think that's going to be a 13.
I got the perfect pattern on that one.
That's a 10, nice. Excellent. World 4 starts out mechanically intense. There's just a lot to take in for this level, but nothing really new to explain. The main thing is toward the end, it's faster to hit the ground and dash than it is to continue boosting. We've got time for 2 donations here.
All right. I have a $10 donation from Too Many Caras. Greetings from Dumpster First Time Bear, Long Time Epic. Thanks, Kuzo community. You're great. Thank you. You're great. And I have a $100 donation from Ron Donaldson that says, "May the best dumpster bear win."
That's the
Thank you
dev.
so much for your
That's actually the
donation.
developer, yes.
Oh, hey, that's so
Excellent.
cool.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, 4-2 is the most dangerous stage in the run. Hold on to the edge of your seat. This introduces bouncing barrels. Now, bouncing barrels are interesting because their bounce's height and rate is determined by your frame rate. Our racers here, Kowal's running on a standard 60 hertz display, but Linkums is running on 144 hertz. So his barrels are going to be bouncing a lot higher and faster, like that. So they're a lot more dangerous for Linkums, and they're random. So have fun with that. There's going to be a lot of greedy iframe dashing here through the flamethrowers, and there's just so many obstacles that you can just stack up a couple of hits and die. Linkums is doing well so far. Kowal's getting into it. Linkums had a little bit of a clumsy start that gave Kowal a chance to catch up a little bit. So it's still any bear's race, any body's race. Why did I say any bear's race? You know what, it works. We're going with it. We get another cutscene at the end of 4-2, and Linkums pulled the pro strat of not skipping the cutscenes the donators paid for. Excellent. That is a massive time loss, but it's what we want. Cool. 4-3.
Shout out to Jankbrain.
Absolutely, Jankbrain is amazing. 4-3 introduces rocket launchers that we're going to wall jump off of or jump right in front of. Rocket launchers are on they're basically on a stage global cycle. You don't really know when they're going to go off unless you approach them with the same timing every time. So as the racers jump off of these, they may just decide to fire and ruin their day if their movement through the level isn't perfect. But it is massive time save to use the rocket launchers to skip a couple of things like there. We just skipped the right side of that room by jumping off of a rocket launcher. And there. So as you can see, dangerous but worthwhile. Linkums missed one of the rockets coming out of that last launcher by a couple of frames. It would have been bad news bears otherwise. Haha. It looks cool, saves a lot of time, dangerous as heck. Kowal, meanwhile, still has both of his hearts together and is moving quite well through 4-3. They're about, a third of a level apart at this point. That is one biffed boss fight, really. This could swing at any time.
Another element to this as well is that my load times are different from Linkums as well. We actually use in-game timer for leaderboards on this game because of that. So it might actually be a little closer than it looks, but Linkums is probably still ahead of me at this point.
Probably a little bit, yeah. 4-4, we're going to do some firewalking here because it's faster than trying to...
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. No, Linkums is just taking a different route through here. So there's a split path here. We've gone back and forth on which way is the faster way to go. Today, and literally today, it's left. And then we do some complicated jumps up here to meet back up with where the path connects and move forward. Up until about a week ago, the faster route was right. Ultimately, though, it's a very complicated jump that can destroy your B speed versus a safer route that's a little bit longer. Linkums went for the Dumpster Bear despawn, but didn't get it. If you land right in the corner and hit, I think, jump when you land at the end of the level, you will actually despawn Dumpster Bear. The boss of World 4 is Jankbrain, which you'll see why he's called Jankbrain in a moment. And mainly what you do is you hang out up here, wait until he's flying across the screen and doing his trans flag colored lightning tantrum, and then you bounce on top of his lobe until he dies. And that's it. Jankbrain's down. In an amazingly janky death animation. It's
one of the scariest boss fights in the game, really.
Yeah, if you miss jumping on top of Jankbrain, you're gonna have a bad day. Oh no, commentator's curse. Kowal was able to recover it though.
Cost me like 2 seconds. That's too bad.
Creamy yet firm.
Thank you, Linkums. 5-1 introduces once again saw blades and some off the top of the level skips that we confirmed were dev intended. Like obviously we have a coin here, so I hope they're intended. And also my favorite hazard in the game, alligators in barrels. Speaking as a native former Floridian, I can confirm that anywhere in Florida, if you have a barrel, there's an alligator in it. And if you're in Florida, I welcome you to go confirm this for yourself.
I don't recommend it.
I don't. Which part?
Florida.
We also have a lot of iframe abuse through flamethrowers again. Risky, your attrition can add up, and you just kind of go down if you're just a little bit off with your global level timing. But hey, gators and barrels. 5.2 has a new huge skip that we're going to see. It's about a 20-second time save. And the way it's going to work is our racers are going to start moving toward the secret exit. There are secret exits in this game, and they don't help you in a speed run because they don't progress toward the end of the game. But we're going to start... Oh no! Kowal takes a death, like I said, on 5-1. But we're going to move through the secret exit of the level, and then we're going to not take it. We're going to hug the wall, fall off the bottom of the level geometry, and before we touch the kill plane, triple jump back up and skip a huge chunk of the level. There is no ground there. It looks like there's ground, there's not. You go off the bottom of the screen, you're dead. Linkums handled that excellently. Kowal's got a little bit more work to do to catch up. Oh no.
I'm on tilt. That's 3 in a row. We're gonna spend the coins, baby. Spend those coins.
So,
oh my gosh.
Kowal engaged in a mechanic to get extra health by consuming some of the coins that he's been picking up. It's a really kind mechanic. Not one you see often in a speed run, but definitely welcomed here.
That's so bad.
Oh no.
I've had bad barrels 3 times in a row. There's nothing I can do about it.
Bad barrel luck will get you. They're random, and now that you're off the the cycle of everything, it's going to be rough. 5-3 is a whole lot like 1-4. The racers will opt to grind the rails instead of flying across the top of the screen this time, though, because as I said before, grinding rails is faster. Let's see if we can slip, let's say 3 donations in here, because 5-4 is just a grinder of enemies, but no new mechanics.
Absolutely. I have a $250 donations from Cypher65 that says, Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. This is the best bear game I've ever seen. Thank you so much for the donation. I have $50 from Bruno that says, Hi AGDQ, the Awful Block is always my favorite segment of the year. Loving the race so far. The runners are merciless, dashing through the levels, slashing through the enemies on their way in a barbaric fashion.
Linkums, I think you're going to get a chance to do 5X today.
All right. Well, sorry.
It happens.
I think we can do one more donation.
Awesome. I have a $25 donation from Lady Linalia that says, the puns people were donating with earlier were unbearable.
Well, since I am currently falling in pits and stuff and not doing what I'm supposed to do, let me share my favorite bear-related pun. Does anybody know what a bear's favorite pickup line is?
What is it?
Hey, baby, what's her sign?
So Linkums is on the final boss. So what we want to see here is for Linkums to drop down and just mash a bunch of attacks on his head to get him down to either 3 or 4 hit points, which he did. He was on 4, which gives us the ability to do 2 double cycles to finish him off. Linkums missed a little bit on the final blow. That's okay. We were able to get 1 extra hit in there, and that is time for Linkums. I didn't warn you people whatsoever. I'm sorry. I was so into it. So I guess what we're going to see here is Linkums is going to show the final cutscene and is going to go do a bonus level to show off a really cool cutscene that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to show off while Kowal catches up from those rough deaths earlier.
Yeah, I don't think we would have been able to show it off if I hadn't died. So let's pretend I died a lot on purpose. Let's go with that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the sacrifice.
Yes, thank you for sacrificing the world record that you were going to deliver to us so that we can see 5X.
You are so welcome.
By the way, the soundtrack for this is actually original. I want to mention that. It's really spanking good. Spanking good. I don't even know what I meant to say right there, but
it is really good.
It's very good.
Mike Petrie, right?
Yes, Mike Petrie.
Yeah.
I haven't practiced this level at all, as you can maybe tell.
I know nothing about this level. I have no commentary for it. Linkums is going to the right, and it's awesome. There you go. I've done my part.
It's all right. Focus on Kowal. He's still playing the actual race.
Absolutely, yes. So Kowal KowalLazy's engaging in the long fall in the final grinder of the game just before we head into Dumpster Bear. Just to go over Dumpster Dad's mechanics again, we're going to want to see him drop down, just very barely clip the left side of the middle platform, and then just bounce, absolutely barely, and just bounce up and down on Dumpster Dad's head until he's down to either 2, 3, or 4 hit points. 3 or 4 is good, 2 is optimal and not very likely to happen, quite frankly, because it's like perfect. And then after that, you're able to get a double hit on each cycle. He's going to run to the right, and then dash back to the left, and then you're able to get 2 hits. Oh, and by the way, here is the secret bonus content from Linkums' screen, where you have the bears training for Epic Dumpster Bear 3. Oh, Kowal got the perfect. Amazing. That is the perfect Dumpster Dad.
Really?
It's time for Kowal.
I think that's an ILPB for me.
Nice. Wow. Very well done. Here's a bear doing squats on Linkums' screen.
I guess I should probably check what my in-game time was.
Oh yeah, it's probably pretty close to the same now because you did the bonus stage.
I did it on a different file.
You, Captain Fancy.
Yeah,
it wasn't unlocked.
After these cutscenes, we got to check IGT because this is scored in IGT. That's how we'll tell who actually won. As far as I know, Kowal had said that his system's a little bit slower. So we got, 1943 for Linkums.
Oh, terrible. 2113. Oof.
Ooh.
Well, it looks like Linkums is 2-0 on the Epic Dumpster Bear grudge match. I'm sure Kowal will be back to challenge the crown again. This gives Linkums the title of Epic Bear and Kowal the title of Epic Dumpster.
Be it well earned. I like being the villain, but Linkums doesn't have this one right here in the middle.
Yeah, for next time, we need to cut some like WrestleMania style promos and everything, just make a huge event out of it.
Oh, real quick, before we sign off as well, shout out to Ron Donaldson. He donated earlier. He is the developer of the game. He is Log Games. This game is available on Steam. It's actually really, really good. I recommend it. It's on sale right now for like $2.50. The first one's, I think, $1. If you like fast platformers that are fun to play, and you can get over it that it looks like this, which I actually like it better for that, throw the man some support. He's a cool guy. He's a participant in the speedrunning community and has been really good to us. So show him some love.
What you got, Linkums?
Just same, and thanks for having us on the show tonight. Thanks for the race, Kowal.
Thank you for the race.
I mean, it sounds like you didn't do so badly up to that point where things went wrong. But,
no, I kind of tin cupped it a little bit on 5-1. It happens sometimes.
It does.
Friends do that.
But all right, well, cool. Stay tuned for more Awful Block and keep donating to the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yep, what Linkums said. Have a good one, everyone. We're out of here.
Bye.
That was an absolute gem. Thank you so much for that run. It was, wow. And if you all don't mind hanging in with me, we are going to go ahead and hear a word from Twitch, and I will see you right after that. Welcome back to AGDQ 2021 Online. It's good to see you all. That was such a fun run. I have a $25 donation from Stob the Rob that says, my God, we've done it. This is peak speedrunning. Congrats to Epic Dumpster Bear 2, He Who Bears Wins, for cracking the code on the ultimate run. In all seriousness, congrats and thank you to all the runners, organizers, hosts, and anyone else who has made this event possible. You are an inspiration. Thank you so much, Stob the Rob. Super appreciate that donation. And with that, we are going to go into an interview for Epic Dumpster Bear 2.
And welcome back, everyone, to AGDQ 2021. It has been an amazing schedule, lots of great runs, and one of the most epic, I could say, races of GDQ history just went down of Epic Dumpster Bear 2. Linkums and KowalLazy both joining me here for the post-game show right here. And Linkums, I got to ask you, how does it feel knowing you choked that race away?
It really sucks. I was hoping to show off this game to my best abilities, but just didn't pan out.
Just absolutely dishonoring your family there and the Epic Dumpster Bear name. KowalLazy, how does it feel knowing that you now for one full, probably ever, because they probably won't do this game again, maybe, we'll see. How does it feel knowing you will forever hold the World Heavyweight Championship of GDQ Epic Dumpster Bearness?
Nothing means more to me than that. I mean, honestly, you train for years to get to the point where you feel confident in your abilities, and then to just absolutely dunk on somebody like
Oh
Linkums
my
here.
God.
Oh God, it was great.
Absolutely dumpstering him here in this race. KowalLazy, it is an honor to talk to you. Linkums, what the heck? All right, chat, time to pull the curtain back. This was pre-recorded back in 2018. We have no idea who just won that race. I really hope it is the opposite of what we just did so that people are very confused the entire time. Or it's exactly what it just was. And people are like, man, Spike's a douchebag. What happened? Linkums is about to cry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Gentlemen, welcome. How y'all doing tonight?
Fantastic.
great.
Heck yeah. I do want to obviously get into talking about the game Epic Dumpster Bear 2. Sitting here in the awful block, I think kind of the crown jewel of it with other games like Wanda Gamelon and whatnot. I have to know, is this like the MCU or something? Do I have to have played the first game to appreciate the second one? Or are both of you first timers in the series itself right here?
I would say, do you want to go ahead, Linkums? You take this one for now.
Sure. Yeah, I would say you don't really need to have played the first. You might appreciate the upgrades that the second one has, but as far as the plot goes, you're missing some ridiculous cutscenes. But overall, it pretty much uh, fills you in on what you missed from the first game.
Does set you up for what to expect from the second game for sure. It puts you in a location, and then it goes from there.
I every 6 months with a group of my friends who we watch GDQs all the time, we like to do a prediction show. And we go through like, oh, okay, there's Mario, Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, like all these games, they're going to be at GDQ. We know what they look like. But then there's a handful of runs every 6 months, these diamonds in the rough that just absolutely catch our eye. And we can't, we watch 30 seconds of each of them. We watched like 5 minutes of Epic Dumpster Bear. We were into this game. Not only is it an absolutely goofy, probably terrible game, but it also actually looks like a fantastic speed run. Gentlemen, am I wrong? Is this awful to control, or is it actually like, no, this game is actually very, very fun?
This game is absolutely legit as a speed run. It's a little bit slippery, but it's slippery in kind of a good way. It's not ice physics slippery, it's just momentum slippery. You're going really fast all the time. There's constant movement tech. You're bouncing off walls, you're dash boosting to get through damage. There's actually a ton of speed tech that goes into it, to the point where mapping out individual stages becomes a really big and involved process. We've probably spent a couple hours a piece on each stage in the game, just routing out where you can fit in more dash boosts, sliding on more rails. You get a little bit lower onto the ground so you can dash slightly faster, and it totally changes the routing of the stage. So as far as speed games go, it's fantastic. As far as playing it casually, I think it's actually still pretty good. It just looks the way it does.
Sure. Linkums?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He said it. He said it perfectly. There's just a ton of speed tech, and I love it as a speed game also for the fact that it's pretty accessible too. Because starting out, there's not too much that's super punishing. Of course, if you take a death, that's pretty bad. But if you're just starting out, you can play it fast, and then you can just keep playing it faster and just shave off more and more seconds everywhere the more you want to implement into the run.
I feel like we throw this statement out a lot in our community of it was made for speedrunning. Do you feel like the devs of this like little indie game or whatever, do you feel like they actually know about speedrunning and had that in mind when creating it?
I think they actually did for this game. So uh, I speedran the first game, and
Oh.
I guess I sort of ended up being one of the main people that was sharing the first game with people and just online. And so the dev reached out to me and he had me actually do some of the beta testing for Dumpster Bear 2. And
Oh, okay.
so I'm quite sure that he actually had speedrunning in mind with some of the designs for this, and the fact that it has an in-game timer and there are speedrun medals built into the game as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I want to play it even more now. No, I love hearing when speedrunners are on the QA team. I just feel like, no offense to anybody else, like I feel like we are a little more savvy to a lot of these sorts of things, and we can like pick up on like little niche problems all over the place. So that's cool to hear. I didn't know that. I don't know if you'll bring up that lore in the run y'all just watched, but that's super cool to hear. One final question I have for both you gentlemen is just how do you find games like this? There are tens of thousands of video games out there. Thousands of those are just terrible, horrible trash, or at least super, super obscure. Not everything is Mario or Zelda. How do you find games like this, and what do you look for in a speed run?
So I think both of us have spent an enormous amount of time with bad video games. Bad video games is the most fun part of GDQ anyway. There's only so many times that I personally, at least, can watch the same, like Super Metroid or whatever, and they're great games and they're fun and you should play them. But when you see Awful Block, you see games that it's a guarantee you'll find something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you find one that's really charming because it does something that's really ambitious, and maybe it's not always executed well. But in awful games, you find people who find an appreciation for the things they did right, and it becomes something where you actually genuinely do love the video game that you're presenting. It's something that becomes very personal to you. And um, this game actually is phenomenal. I would say I've spent probably 200 or 300 hours speedrunning RPGs, and
Mm.
I've probably spent more than that routing Epic Dumpster Bear 2. It's really, really good. And, you find something like that and you don't want to let it go. And then you find out, what has the dev worked on outside of that? And you sort of work out from there. And I don't want to step too much on what Linkums is about to say, but one of the funny things about Epic Dumpster Bear is that the original release of the first one was a Wii U exclusive that Linkums found sort of by accident. And so
Oh.
Linkums was the one who he was patient zero of exposing us to Epic Dumpster Bear. And it kind of took off from there.
Yeah, that's true. So I had a blog that I did for just gaming content, and basically the gist of the blog was to show people hidden gems, really weird games, really bad games.
Mhm.
And so the dev of Dumpster Bear sent me a review code for Epic Dumpster Bear on Wii U, which was at the time a Wii U eShop exclusive,
Yeah.
and it sounded like something ridiculous that I had to try. So I did,
Mhm.
and it turned out that it was actually pretty good, even though it looked really bad.
Sure.
So yeah, then I speed ran that and I shared it with the world, brought it to GDQ and had people in the practice room try it out, made them try it out. And then yeah, I went from there. But similar to Kowal, I just like finding the weird, wacky games, the bad games that have some good ideas, the bad games that are just actually bad, and see how fast you can break them down and take advantage of everything. Just learn how they work. I just like sharing cool, weird stuff with the world.
And we appreciate it. It's like you guys said, this is for a lot of people their favorite block of every GDQ. Getting to find those diamonds in the rough that we never knew about. And sometimes just don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes the goofiest, weirdest looking things are sometimes the most enjoyable to get into, and especially in speedrunning. So, Kowal, Linkums, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for that race y'all just did. Congrats to the winner. Sorry to the loser. We'll see what happened later on. I'll check the VOD. Looking forward to this race. Everyone, send you back up to the front for more AGDQ 2021 and more of Awful Block 2021. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.